All right, today we're going to be looking at a Renanthera citrina orchid. Really cool species. I would say this is probably one of my favorite plants in my collection. I have about 50 plants, so decent size, but not anything crazy like you might see on some of the other channels out there. I grow in the home, so you need to be really careful with what you purchase, and I also live in a very cold northern climate where the weather gets really dry in the winter, and we have central heating, so it is extremely dry in here. I mean, we're talking average about 30% humidity, but even with that, this plant was able to bloom. This is the first time it's bloomed for me. It's growing really well. I think in general, as long as you can keep a decent root system on these Renantheras or Vandaceous type orchids in the home, you can do pretty well with them. They do need a little bit more light than even a Cattleya orchid to really get them to move. And what I've noticed with mine that really got them to trigger is when it went from the summer months to winter. Obviously in the summer we run AC here, so the plant doesn't get super hot. So I think it has a hard time telling exactly what the season is until those lights shift and you get really cold temperatures here that gets it to really move itself into blooming. I think this is just a really nice species orchid. I have a few Renantheras. I've killed, I think, one or two of them. This one is probably, I'd say, is probably the easiest growing. This or my Calcium, which hopefully that'll bloom soon, so I can show you that one. But the blooms are just really cool on this. They're like a very species spidery look. So you're gonna really enjoy this one. Mine has kind of a more unique, I'd say, wide sepal. So those are those two bottom petal looking things, the paddle looking things on the bottom. So this one's kind of a little bit more unique. Usually they're more like wiry, and from what I was seeing online, some don't have as many spots on it, so this is really cool. Grow it in higher light. I do use artificial light and grow it in a very bright sunny spot. Once the plant started to get a little too purple, that's anthocyanin, so it's like the plant's, it's a sunburn almost, or a reaction from right before you get sunburn. Maybe suntan is a good word, but you don't want it to go too far, because I do have another Renanthera where that got a little too out of hand, and there's some little slight light burn marks on it. Plant is fine, but it did do damage. So I took it away from that spot and put it in a kind of the middle of a really brightly lit area of the dining and kitchen area, and it's returned back to its pretty much normal color. So that is the Renanthera citrina, the blooms, how I care for it, where I grow it. Really great plant. I would recommend it if you're looking for something to start with as far as Renantheras.